Sometimes I be feeling like Martin Luther King myself. I give God all the glory though. All a dream, now it's reality. And I know some people be D-U-B-B-L-E. And even cause I'm with it, cause it's more coming, roll with you. Just like some green, maybe I Martin Luther King. Cause when I look now, I'm feeling like Martin Luther King. Cause yeah, they mad at me cause they see that I'ma keep it true. I'ma show them what it do. Better read that, gives this life support. Life just for them to listen. What do I need to make it my cake up? And if this is my dream, I turn my dream into reality. I'm doing what I say. I turn my dream into reality.
Ariwomas Kanamoti Takanimu Kanana Ask what she can do we equal Kanana Mundau Kaka Kanana Ask what she can do we Kashare Hawaye, Kashare Hawaye. Wait for the hand, wait for the hand, wait alone, Sakana,
Well, all right.
Sometimes I be feeling like Martin Luther King myself, man. I had a dream too. Now look at where I am today and where I was about a year ago. I give God all the glory though. Come on, let's go. So now I'm feeling like Martin Luther King, cause when I look back, it was all a dream, now it's reality. And I know some people mad at me, they ain't glad to see someone making what they still dreaming of reality. But that's okay, cause I'ma do me, and I'ma still be D-U-B-B-L-E. Hey, and there is nothing you can tell me. My flow stay sick, but I'm so healthy, getting more wealthy. I see more money, but I ain't even concerned with it, cause it's more coming, man. I gotta do what I gotta do, and in my dream, I only saw a chosen few, so maybe that means I ain't supposed to roll with you. Just like some green, maybe I ain't supposed to roll with you. Ain't feeling me? Well, go ahead and knock this. I'm just being honest. I know God got this. Watch this. So now I'm feeling like Martin Luther King, but when I look back, it was all a dream. Now it's reality. I turn my dream into reality. I'm doing what I said I was gonna do, so now they mad at me. So now I'm feeling like Martin Luther King, cause when I look back, it was all a dream. Now it's reality. I turn my dream into reality. I'm doing what I said I was gonna do, so now they mad at me. Yeah, they mad at me, cause they see that I'm doing what I said that I be doing. Oh, my career still ain't ruined. You and me, yeah, me and you. Hip hop, it don't stop, and I'ma keep it true. I'ma show 'em what it do, show 'em it's alive, cause in my dream, I'm what made it survive. You can say that hip hop's on life support, and on a battery that gives its life support. Life's like basketball, I'ma spend my time up on the court. No time to sit out, I gotta go play this sport. But what's it gon' take for them to pay attention? Just for them to listen. What do I need to mention? Do I gotta be on TV just for them to hear me? Well, you can BET that, I'm gon' be on BET. Y'all know me, I'm just trying to get my cake up. And if this is my dream, I don't wanna wake up. So now I'm feeling like Martin Luther King, but when I look back, it was all a dream. Now it's reality. I turn my dream into reality. I'm doing what I said I was gonna do, so now they mad at me. So now I'm feeling like Martin Luther King, cause when I look back, it was all a dream. Now it's reality. I turn my dream into reality. I'm doing what I said I was gonna do, so now they mad at me.
Everyone must worship Jesus. Got it right? Okay.
Kana moti takanimu Mundau kaka Mungir mamaka Kana aiki takanimu Mundau kaka Mungir mamaka Kana moti takanimu Mundau kaka Mungir mamaka Kana aiki takanimu Mundau kaka Mungir mamaka
Mai bude hanya, mai al'ajibi, mai alkawari, haske cikin duhu, mai iko babu kamar ka. Mai bude hanya, mai al'ajibi, mai alkawari, haske cikin duhu, mai iko babu kamar ka.
hallelujah to Arewa. I must worship the King. Yeah, yeah. Kashare hawaye, kawarka da zuciya, kai ne amsan duniya. Yesu, kashare hawaye, kawarka da zuciya, kai ne amsan duniya. Yesu,
mai buɗe hanya, mai al'aji,
Yesu,
mai alƙawari, haske cikin duhu, mai iko, babu kamar ka. Mai buɗe hanya, mai al'aji, mai alƙawari, haske cikin duhu, mai iko, babu kamar ka. Onani na san kana yin aiki, ban ji ba na san kana aiki, baka daina aiki, baka daina aiki. Onani na san kana yin aiki, ban ji ba na san kana aiki, baka daina aiki. Mai buɗe hanya, mai alƙawari, mai alƙawari, haske cikin duhu, babu kamar ka. Mai buɗe hanya, mai alƙawari, mai alƙawari, haske cikin duhu, iko, babu kamar ka.
We're all right. The Waymaker, Hausa cover by Yak Ra. Pardon me. We also have Martin Luther King by Double A, PCP Entertainment. Double spelled DUBBLE. Double A. At SoundClick with the track Martin Luther King. And we also have I Have a Dream by Kosher Sushi. Also at SoundClick. Sushi as in the sushi you would eat at an Oriental restaurant. Kosher, Kosher, Kosher Sushi. Kosher Sushi, I Have a Dream. At SoundClick. So that's the 3 tracks in the playlist. It goes on to mention the FBI began to, he helped lead, FBI fell back on the cry that he'd never.
Facebook, Twitter,
Goes on
and
to mention
Instagram.
that trying to destroy communism, Hoover's decision in August 1963, in 1963, caught even since Martin Luther King and other Black Baptist churchmen since it began in February 1960. Lacked that old ring of conviction and relations for the purpose of stepping up racial prejudice and hate. Plans for subversion and the data reports. I opened a new file, captioned communist influence information, and the field filed. I'm just skimming through the chapter itself in Racial Matters, Black Dream, Red Menace. It says that the FBI agents and informants were on hand to observe the great majority of the civil rights movement seize the moment to dream King's dream. It goes on some more. It mentions how the Kennedys had co-opted the farce on Washington as Malcolm X called the march. So with Hoover's FBI in the last 2 years, and the SNCC chairman John Lewis, they wanted to tell the crowd that the lily pads in Washington Monument reflection pool and the crowds among them were not in the pool not to support the administration's civil rights bill. It goes on some more. It said that the bill protected them from police brutality, although during the march in Washington convinced Hoover that the civil rights movement would not wither away on its own. Irreparable damage was caused in America before the summer of 1963 ended. It goes on to mention there was the FBI began to transform what had been a holding action against black demands for justice and equality into a frontal assault on Dr. King and the movement he helped lead. The director of the FBI fell back on the cry that he'd never failed, that had never failed him in the past.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
That during all these issues and his life spent trying to destroy communism and their causes, he would now try to destroy King's cause. Hoover's decision in August 1963 caused even closer aids. In 1963 caught even his closest aides by surprise. The director saw communism as a secularism on the march, but a few of the executives could detect that secularist advance since Martin Luther King and other Black Baptist churchmen were among the primary organisers of the civil rights movement since it began in February 1960. Mentions going on to talk about Hoover's public pronouncement lacked that old ring of conviction, and all he could say was that the party merely attempted to infiltrate the legitimate Negro organizations for the purpose of stepping up racial prejudice and hatred. So it goes on, talks about more communism, plans for Negro March, subversion and the data of that, Civil Rights Division, and filed reports. Goes on to mention how the FBI opened a new file captioned Communist Influence Racial Matters, CIRM, for all the inbound information, and the field filed its reports. So, go on to take a better look at that. And there's lots of other acronyms and anagrams all caught up within these issues, the issues of racial matters. And its influence on large numbers of African Americans in the black community, and their broader struggle to engage with a government that cared.
Check us out on Facebook.
I'm just taking a look on Google. I can see from the CIRM and the FBI in 1963, there's actually an FBI records, the vault, the FBI vault online, and the song Louie Louie. In 1963, a rock group named the Kingsmen recorded the song Louie Louie. The popularity of the song and difficulty in discerning the lyrics led some people to have trouble disseminating exactly what the song's on about. If you're just going to open up this vault and take a better look, you can find this at vault.fbi.gov/Louie, that's LOUIE dash Louie again dash the dash song. Just being confronted with a disclaimer. In 1963, the rock group named the Kingsmen recorded a song called Louie Louie. The popularity of the song and difficulty in discerning the lyrics led some people to suspect that the song was obscene. The FBI was asked to investigate whether or not those involved with the song violated laws against the interstate transportation of obscene material. The limited investigation lasted from February to May 1964 and discovered no evidence of obscenity. And then there's what seems to be some sort of PDF, a PDF about the song as well there, as a kind of attachment. You can open it up in a new window, and it's a PDF, a document file, and it's the actual file itself from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Freedom of Information, Privacy Act section, cover sheet, subject Louie Louie, the 60s song. There's 119 pages there for the. You can zoom in, you can actually switch from document to pages and select individual pages. You can print it, you can email it, you can share it on Facebook and Twitter as well as other platforms. But that's actually that PDF document is actually
Twitter,
like
and Instagram.
119 pages worth. Some of it's redacted. You can see that they scribbled all over it and stuff. It's fairly interesting. I haven't got time during all of this to check it out. There's pictures of the 7-inch record itself in 2 pages to the document. They're, interestingly enough, probably side A and side B. I'm just scanning through as many of the pages as I can, which you can pick individually. Lots of it redacted at times, and that it's somewhat interesting. I would like to take a look at that some other time. Right, so let's go back. So it's just mentioning how the FBI explored Dr. King's communist associations prior to the summer of 1963, but Hoover did not act forcefully, even though the case of Stanley Levinson, one of King's closest advisors, and a man who had been named by prize informants during the early 1950s as a Soviet courier, failed to stir the FBI at first. By the late 1950s, Bureau officials knew that Levinson had been closely associated with Reverend Martin Luther King and at least a few other civil rights leaders, including A. Philip Randolph, but they collected public source information only on King's Southern Christian Leadership Conference and did not open a common field That's the common field is to do with communist infiltration file until October 1962. Sullivan himself was not quite sure what to make of Levinson. He contacted Donald E. Rooney, the assistant special agent in charge of the New York office, the Office of Origin in Levinson's investigation, and asked, according to Rooney's summary of their conversation, exactly what is Levinson's status within the CP? Is he or is he not a member of the party? Is he subject to party discipline or not? Has he actually broken with Gus Hall and other CP leaders? The FBI moved against King and used his association with Levinson as a pretext for doing so, but the decision to destroy King was not made until March on Washington. The demonstration itself, when it demonstrated that the civil rights movement had finally muscled its way onto the nation's political agenda. So that's quite interesting. It further goes on to make remarks about disruption and neutralization, and the threat to the existing social and political order. The civil rights movement itself and its charismatic leader continued to fight for justice and equality. It goes on to say 6 days after the Division 5, 6 days after the Division 5 gathering, when Time magazine named King its Man of the Year, Hoover responded they had to dig deep in the garbage for this one. Nearly a month later, he described King as a tomcat with obsessive, degenerate sexual urges. The director clearly supported the Division 5 proposals. So there's some sort of slander, scandalizing Dr. King. It goes on to mention pervasive and intrusive surveillance, phones being tapped and bugged, along with properties. Just looking into the meaning of Division 5, divisions within the FBI, obviously intelligence, and then national security. Nowadays you have the criminal cyber response and services branches, science and technology branch, information technology and human resources. Lots of different divisions within the FBI. Obviously you've got the Marines of MARSOC and that of Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA. Of those two platforms that work along with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It's all counter-intelligence, some educational stuff. So, yeah, looking into all of that, in the department's General Intelligence Division, the GID joined J. Edgar Hoover, and that, the African American Studies, FBI files, that's a bit interesting. Research and guides. I think this is educational. It's Princeton actually. It's within a library and library guides at Princeton University in America. It's an educational web page. African American Studies FBI files, primary and selected secondary sources for research in African American Studies in Princeton University. Pardon me. The digital sources, federal response to racialism in the 1960s, organized alphabetically in organization. This collection covers a wide range of viewpoints on political, social, cultural, and economic issues. It sheds light on internal organization, personnel, and activities of some of the most prominent American radical groups and their movements to change American government and society. And the date range goes from 1956 to 1971. So we got the counterintelligence program in the FBI, and FBI files on the Black Panther Party, North Carolina, FBI files on Malcolm X, FBI file MIBURN Mississippi burning, FBI file on the Muslim Mosque Incorporated, the FBI files on an organization of Afro-American Unity, OAAU, FBI file on the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, FBI investigation file on communist infiltration of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And it goes on to mention like FBI surveillance and federal surveillance of African Americans.